Okay, we're going to try something else. Hold on. Um, now my camera's not working. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to try this then. Here we go. I don't want this camera though. There we go. Okay. All right. So I've got, let me know if I've got sound. Um, hello, hello, hello. Can anybody else hear me now? My microphone is not working. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna try. Nope, that won't work. Okay, somebody let me know if you can hear me now. Okay, it's showing that I have sound on this end. Can anybody tell me if we have sound? Okay, you know what? Let me see. Okay, it's showing that I have sound. Okay, I've got sound on my end when I go on Facebook. Okay. Okay, sound. Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, so I just canceled the Zoom because no one was on there. So maybe that helped it. I don't know. All right. So we're starting with foundation. Let me go back just a minute and make sure. So we started with clean face, cleaned it with our repair cleanser. Now we're talking about foundation primer. So I primed up the face, got it all prepared. And then we're talking about CC cream. So this is our complexion corrector. So this has some SPF 15 in it. Then you also, it's going to correct any imperfections, any imperfections, any pink or red areas of your face. It is, of course, got a call on live. This is a night of craziness, I'm telling you. Okay, so it's going to take out any facial masking that you have, any age spots, that kind of stuff. It's going to be a really lightweight coverage. So we're going to do that on just half of my face so that you guys can see that. I'm going to be using our blending sponge. And so this is the area where I get pink in. So also if you deal with like rosacea or anything like that, it's kind of like, I don't know, think about concealer for your whole face, but more in a foundation form. Okay. So again, this is a super lightweight. We're going to go right down the middle of my face. And you're going to get that coverage. Okay. So here is just CC cream. No, we'll do it just right here. Just CC cream, okay? So this is what I refer to as my Rouse's makeup. So you can see, we're going to go right here because this is where I'm red or pink. And it just took all of that out, okay? All of my pinkness is gone. So this right here is just CC cream. The next thing that we're going to be talking about in our foundation lineup, okay, our foundation lineup is our two foundations, two formulas for those. This is our Time Wise Luminous 3D foundation and our Matte 3D foundation, okay? Defend, Delay, and Deliver is your 3D complex. And there are two different formulas. So anything that you see in Mary Kay, am I the only one? I think so. I think you are, Hannah. And so anytime you see anything in Mary Kay that is purple or pink, there's a reason for that. Okay, so you can glance at something. If it's purple, it means that it's for combination to oily skin. And if it is pink, it means it's for normal to dry skin. Okay, so that is that. And so we have our Luminous foundation is our normal to dry, and our matte foundation is our combination to oily. So our matte foundation is going to give you that matte finish, and the luminous is going to leave a little dewiness to it. Okay. So I'm using the same formula in 140, Ivory in 140. So I'm going to use the same formula. And we're going to do two different techniques with this. I'm going to use the blending brush on one and blending sponge on another. So you can kind of see the two different things. Now, they're not going to be the same shade exactly because of the difference in the luminous and in the matte. They are slightly different, even though they're the same number. So this is going to be for the matte finish. So we're going to just do it right here. I do have some psoriasis spots that started on my face. So you'll see this right here, just as kind of a reference so you can see how it's going to cover. Now, one thing that I do want to kind of bust the myth, some people think you have to stripe in a downward motion on your face, and you shouldn't. This is something when you're doing foundation, you want to do small circular motions because you don't want to be like a dry eraser marker where you're just kind of going over it and wiping it back off. And you want to blend it. And so you can also, if you're pushing this way, you're adding a little more coverage. And you can see this psoriasis spot now is covered. Okay. All of the foundations are buildable. So you can put multiple layers on top. So if you want a deeper coverage, a fuller coverage, you just add another layer to that. Okay. So I'll show you guys what that looks like also. Now I'm going to take the luminous coverage and we're going to go right on my forehead so that you can kind of see more of the luminous coverage. Your blending sponges, you do want to make sure that they are super wet when you do this. And so you want them to be about 4 to 5 times their size. And it's kind of like milking a cow when you're doing it. And it's way, way, way too much for this tiny little area, but we're going to do it anyways. And so you just kind of dab it on. Dab, dab, dab. And so you can see too the difference in the coloration. So this one on me looks a little more orange. Same as this foundation, okay? Like they're the same number and everything. And so you can kind of see that luminous versus the matte finishes, okay? So this one has a little more of that shine to it. It has more of that dewy appearance. And this is definitely more like a flat black, like a matte finish, okay? So I wanted to kind of show the differences in those coverages and that foundation for you guys too. All right, so let me now go into another foundation, and that's going to be our Endless Performance Cream Foundation. Do you recommend one over the other? Okay, so it's just a personal preference, and it's also your skin tone. So my skin is more combination to oily than it is normal to dry. Even though that kind of changes depending on the seasons too, but it's also a personal preference of coverage. Okay. So the matte, because it is for combination to oily, it has oil absorbers in it. And so it's going to help to absorb any excess oils throughout the day, where the luminous foundation is for normal to dry. So it's going to have moisturizer built into it. So it's going to help to hydrate the skin throughout the day. So it kind of really depends on what your skin needs and what the finish is that you're looking for. So sometimes my skin gets really dry, or it's dry in areas, and I don't really deal with a whole lot of oil anymore. Just sometimes it gets super dry in other areas than not. But I really prefer the matte finish. So I have to remember to match myself for matte. And even some days, if I think I want to use the luminous, I can't necessarily use the same color because this is too dark compared to my skin. Okay. Myth number 2 that we're going to bust. People say, okay, well, you shouldn't match, like, don't stripe because you just have to match your face and not your jaw area. Okay. So that I want to bust because this area right here does not see sun. So people say, well, it didn't blend. It's darker on your neck than it is on your face. That is because this area does not see sun. And so it is going to be a different shade than the rest of your face. So that is the job of blending, right? You should never have a harsh line, but you will need to blend it down your neck, okay, to get that. And then you also are going to have different shades in the winter and the summer, but a lot of times you can use the same foundation and maybe change your finishing powder or change something, just, you're just slightly lighter than you are during the summer. Like for me, I don't have a drastic winter summer difference. So I'm just slightly lighter in the winter than I am during the summer because I'm just not a beach girl anymore. I don't sunbathe anymore like I used to. And so for me, I don't have that. Okay. So for me, I just adjust my finishing powder and that helps. Sometimes I can adjust my CC cream and that just kind of gives me a little bit. So I am in a lighter, very light CC cream right now during the winter. And during the summer, I can go into a light to medium CC cream. So you do have to make some variations and some adjustments. And again, like I said, your skin is going to be different in the winter and summer. So you may want the luminous during the winter and the matte during the summer. So it all just kind of depends on what you want. Now, the Endless Performance Cream to Powder, it does have a slight fragrance to it. It's kind of a powder fragrance. Okay, so that I always kind of like to tell people ahead of time. It does fit in our compacts. So here is one of the compacts. It would actually, all of our compacts are magnetic. And so I can actually pop out and pop in. Okay. I hate putting my fingers on glass. Oh my goodness. So what I'm going to do with this one is I really want y'all to see the actual thing. So, which I love. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take just a cosmetic sponge that you can get from us. And I think this gives a little fuller coverage. Some people say this is more of a medium coverage. I think it just depends on how you apply it, how much you apply. Okay, so this side right here just has CC cream on. Okay, so and again, I have a psoriasis dry spot right here. So I'm just going to apply our cream to powder. So I'm just putting it on the sponge. You can also apply this with a powder brush, and it just gives a different appearance. Okay. I have really dark circles, so I always like to add a little foundation on top of that. But again, it just depends on how you see. I'm going into my neck with this. Okay. It just depends on how you apply it. The different tools that you use are going to give you different finishes. Okay. So I'm just going to go in and put that in that area. So you could just see a little of the difference in the tools. The tools that we use give different appearances. Okay. Now, so we've covered cream to powder. We've covered our CC cream. We have covered our 2 foundations. Okay. So one's luminous and one is matte. And then the last thing that I'm going to share with you guys for tonight is going to be about our Silky setting powders. Now, those, my friends, are your filter. That is your filter. So my whole life growing up, everyone has always told me not to put makeup on like breakouts because it shows more. Is that true? So I feel like you have to do a little concealer first on those, and then you need to go ahead and cover the whole thing, because otherwise it's going to stand. In my opinion, it makes it stand out more if you leave it exposed and uncovered. So I put a little concealer and go. So one of the things I did tell you guys is that the foundation is buildable. And so right now I'm going to put a second coat, if you will, on this particular side so that you can see what a double coverage using. This is for the fullest coverage is this sponge. So if you're wanting the fullest coverage that you can get, this is so weird doing my face with different foundations. I have not done this before, by the way, on teaching. So it is very weird looking at myself with all these different coverages on my face. Okay. So this one gives the fullest coverage. Now, I did wait a little while in between because if you don't wait a little while, you can actually even put some powder on in between your layers. But if you don't wait a little while, you're just kind of wiping it right back off and over. So we don't want to do that. I don't know if I can do half my chin. And then, of course, you want to make sure you're blending. Blending and blending, blending and blending. Okay, so this now has 2 layers of foundation in the matte. This has 1 in Luminous, and this now has CC cream and cream to powder over it. So I definitely feel like this was more of a coverage than these 2, okay? Just thinking out loud, they look like this looks more of a coverage than this one. So it depends on if you want a lighter coverage, you would do the CC cream, and then you can put the cream to powder. I do love the way it feels. Like it feels really smooth. You don't see any like, any areas or whatever. It's just all smooth. So I do love that about it. And so now we're going to do our setting powder. So these are brand new. This is what I call our little face filter. This is like your Instagram filter right here. And so this is going to help set and seal the deal. Okay. Again, it's going to be down to your tools. So this has little things that are going to help filter the face, but it's also going to set it. So set it and forget it. Okay. So I'm going to take our powder brush and we're going to go across my forehead, which is where I've got to remember where I've got everything, which is where the Luminous, and I just tapped it off. Okay. And you're doing circular motions. So this is going to take out that shine, the little bit of that dewy finish. Okay. So it just kind of took that all out. And so that is with using our powder brush. So it's going to give you that denser coverage. And so we're going to go on this side that has the CC cream and the cream to powder, again, using this brush. And then definitely under my eyes where I have concealer and everything on. Okay. Now I'm going to do this side with Big Bertha. Big Bertha is my favorite brush. It is your all over powder brush. I love her so much. So I just load her up and tap her off. And I'm tapping her off in the lid so that the particles are in the lid for me to reuse so I don't waste anything. Okay. So here's the real filter. Watch this. Watch this. Y'all watch. Boom. Filter faced. Filtered my face. I just filtered my face. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay. And so that is like my favorite thing. And then you can also just kind of go back over it, even if you use the smaller powder brush, just kind of go back over it. Y'all look at that. It just like makes everything like even. It just kind of evened out everything gives that little finish to it. Oh my goodness. Like I am in love with the Silky setting powder. Those come in multiple different colors. There's a very large range of coloration, and they are absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing. So I am just going to take and do a little quick contour. This was a sculpt stick that we had, so I still use it, but we also have some colors that you can use. And so we're just going to do a little bit of contour. Hey, Christy. And then I'm using the powder brush just to kind of blend it out. You don't want to over blend it because you want it to shape the face, but you need to blend it out so that you're not seeing these harsh lines. All right. And then I'm just going to add some cheek to it. I'm not going to do any highlight tonight. So the next thing we have tomorrow, we have our Pink Possibility Chats. So if anybody wants to learn a little bit more about what we do, then join us tomorrow night for our Pink Possibility Chat at 8. And those are always fun, and bring your girlfriends with you. And if you think someone would be great at doing what we do, then have them pop on it, and we have a special gift for you. Then Wednesday, we don't have anything. And then Thursday is going to be Let's Talk Pink. And so that will be primarily focused on our skincare side of things. But it'll also be a place where you can ask any questions that you want, whether that's about skincare, cosmetics, or about the business. So you can ask anything on Let's Talk Pink. And so that's going to be our new schedule. And then on Wednesdays, we do have something. Wednesday morning at 10:30, we're going to have coffee and conversations. So bring your cup of joe, your hot tea, your orange juice, whatever at 10:30. I'm going to be just putting on my makeup with you guys. And we're just going to be having fun, hanging out. And I'll probably do some giveaways and stuff on there. And you can always ask any questions that you want. So, okay. So that is all things foundation. So this side again was CC cream. I'm kind of in a shadow, so I'm trying to get out of it. Maybe I'll do sideways so you can say. So CC cream and cream to powder with the finishing powder, silky setting powder. I'll get it right on this side. This side is 2 layers, 2 layers of matte foundation with the silky setting powder put on with the Big Bertha. And this is with the Luminous foundation with the silky setting powder. So there you go. And my nose kind of has a little bit of everything. I don't know. It's like all over the place, right? So there you go. That is all of our foundations. I hope you guys can kind of see the difference in them, but you shouldn't see a ton of difference because it should just go on like it's supposed to and do its thing, right? I always think that this side of my face, though, when I do these comparisons, I feel like this side of my face feels looks a little more lifted and skinnier than when I do this way. So, I mean, it just totally could be an illusion that I tell myself. I don't know. But I personally, this is my preference for my everyday look. But again, I do the CC cream when I want just a quick run. And I like the Big Bertha setting powder. Personally, it gives a little lighter. Like I said, it is the filter image. So there you go, my friends. That is all things foundation. We've covered all of our foundation types. And then if you wanted to add a little more glow, oh, thank you, Hannah. If you wanted to add a little more glow, you can take our Naturally oils and just set those on pat it onto your cheekbone, and it gives you, y'all know what? That little bit of glow, right? And it's amazing. And of course, it feels silky smooth and awesome too. So, well, thanks for jumping in and joining me tonight. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Come join us for our Pink Possibility Chats. Maybe you just want to hang out with us and hear more about Mary Kay because you'll love us. So join us for Pink Possibility Night at 8 on Zoom. It will only be on Zoom. We won't be putting that out here. Well, we may, just in case, we may do it as a backup. I don't know. And then again, Wednesday morning at 10:30, we'll be on our Facebook group. So make sure you are joining us for Coffee and Conversations. And Thursday will be Let's Talk Pink, where we talk about everything, any question that you have, but we're primarily going to be focusing on skincares and supplements. So hope you guys had a great night. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will talk with you soon. Bye, friends.